Live now. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for the first meeting of 2024. Happy New Year to everyone out there in Zoom land, Councillor Wright, and those joining us on YouTube. As we begin the meeting, I'll ask that members of council be reminded that our procedure bylaw forbids the use of mobile devices during council and committee meetings. And I'll call this meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. Before we begin, I acknowledge that we are gathered on lands that have been inhabited by Indigenous people from the beginning. We respectfully acknowledge that the Mississauga and Anishinaabe have been the stewards of this place. As we tell the truth behind our stories and reconcile them with our past and who we are today, we acknowledge that we are working toward right relations as good treaty people. In particular, we are thankful for our partnership with our neighbors from the Alderville First Nation. And I have a motion moved by Acting Deputy Mayor Rowley, seconded by Councillor Fredis, that Council approve the January 8th, 2024 Council agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Those in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. Thank you. The clerk has asked me to note that Councillor Butwell has sent regrets for this evening's meeting. Members of council, do you have any declarations of pecuniary interest? And if so, please state the general nature thereof. And there are none noted. Are there any announcements this evening? And there are none noted. I have a motion moved by Councillor Fredis, seconded by Acting Deputy Mayor Rowley, that council adopt the December 18th, 2023 council meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. And a motion moved by Councillor Wheeldon, seconded by Councillor Fredis, that council adopt the December 22nd, 2023 special council meeting minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor? There being none opposed, that motion is carried. We have no public meeting this evening. We have no delegations or presentations. I'm assuming because there are no citizens present, we have no citizens comment this evening. We have no staff reports for the open session. We have no notices of motion or motions, nothing under unfinished business. We have no bylaws. We have no reports of minutes, advisory committees of council and review teams. We have no reports of minutes of statutory committees, boards, or external agencies. We have no correspondence, direction items, endorsements, communications, or petitions. We have no FYI correspondence. And there being no one present either on Zoom or in the gallery, I assume we have no questions at the question period point, which brings us to our closed session. Now, before we go into closed session, I will advise anyone who's joining us on YouTube that we'll be ending the YouTube live stream for the duration of the meeting, and we will not be returning to YouTube when we come back into open session after our closed session. And with that, I have a motion moved by Acting Deputy Mayor Rowley, seconded by Councillor Fredis, that council resolve itself into closed session January 8th, 2024 at 6:34 p.m. Pursuant to the Ontario Municipal Act RSO 2001 as amended, subsection 239(2)K, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality local board, specifically the CAO's organizational/compensation review report. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? There being none opposed, that motion's carried. And we'll give staff a couple of seconds to transition into the closed session. I think